Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about adenoids. Adenoids are also called as Lashka tonsils or adenoid undergo hypertrophy. So it is adenoidal hypertrophy. So if you see the etiology, this adenoiditis can occur after rhinitis, or it can occur after sinusitis, or it can occur after allergy and tonsillitis. So what are the clinical features? Clinical features are in the adenoids. If the patient has adenoids, there will be two types of symptoms. Symptoms related to nose and symptoms related to ear. Symptoms related to nose are nasal symptoms, like you will see bilateral nasal obstruction, wet bubbly nose will be seen with sinusitis, epistaxis and voice change. Okay, you see bilateral nasal obstruction with wet bubbly nose, and there is sinusitis, epistaxis, there is voice change occurs. The voice becomes toneless and loses the nasal cavity. That is, you will see hyponasal voice, which is also called as rhinolalia clausa. So you will see hyponasal voice or rhinolalia clausa is seen. Then what about the oral symptoms? In the ear, the patient will mainly develop conductive hearing loss, mainly due to the tubal obstruction. There will be recurrent episodes of acute otitis media or chronic serous otitis media, chronic suppurative otitis media, and even serous otitis media may develop in the child. So these are ear symptoms. So the child will have nasal symptoms, and also oral symptoms are seen in adenoids. Then if you see, there are also some general symptoms. The general symptoms include, there will be dull elongated face. The child will have dull elongated face will be there. The child will open the mouth because he will be mouth breathing, and the teeth or crowded teeth will be seen in the child. The teeth are crowded in the child. Okay, the child opens the mouth breathing, and crowded teeth are seen. You will see presence of hitched upper lip will be seen, and there is high arched palate is seen. So these are the main important features of um, adenoiditis. Okay, then what about the diagnosis? Diagnosis is, you can do diagnostic nasal endoscopy is done. On nasal endoscopy or diagnostic nasal endoscopy, you will see the presence of the adenoids. Or you can also do lateral x-ray can be done. In the lateral x-ray, you can find the size of the adenoids. Then CT has no role in adenoiditis. Okay, now treatment. So if you see the treatment, obviously you will have to remove the adenoids, right? So we do adenoidectomy. So adenoidectomy can be done by two methods. One, you can do traditional method can be used for adenoidectomy, or you can do newer method can be used for adenoidectomy. In traditional method, you do transoral curettage is done. In traditional method, first you do transoral curettage as done in the traditional method. In the neural method, you will have to do endoscopic adenoidectomy is done. In neural method, you will do endoscopic adenoidectomy is done with forceps or suction diathermy or micro debrider. You do adenoidectomy. Adenoidectomy through the traditional method, you do transoral curettage. Through neural method, you do endoscopic adenoidectomy with forceps, suction diathermy and microdebrider. Now, if you see the indications, what are the indications of adenoidectomy? Adenoidectomy indications are, first, you have to do it in obstructive sleep apnea if the patient has snoring, or if the patient has recurrent ear infections, or if the patient has glue ear, or if the patient has dental malocclusion due to this um, adenoids. In these cases, you will have to do adenoidectomy. Or if the patient has recurrent sinusitis also, you should do adenoidectomy. Okay, now what about the contraindications of adenoidectomy? Adenoidectomy is contraindicated in submucosal cleft of the palate. It is contraindicated in submucosal cleft of the palate because postoperative velopharyngeal insufficiency can occur. So whenever there is submucosal cleft of the palate, adenoidectomy is contraindicated. Then in acute adenoiditis, it is contraindicated. That is, if the age is less than 3 years of age also, it is contraindicated. It is contraindicated in acute adenoiditis, and if the age of the child is less than 3 years, then adenoidectomy is contraindicated. Okay, and even it is contraindicated in bleeding disorders. What are the indications of adenoidectomy? Obstructive sleep apnea, recurrent ear infections, glue ear, recurrent sinusitis, and dental malocclusion and snoring are the indications of adenoidectomy. What are the contraindications of adenoidectomy? Submucous cleft of the palate, acute adenoiditis, and bleeding disorders are actually the contraindications of adenoidectomy. Now, we have said that in the adenoid children, there is a type of voice called as rhinolalia clausa. So what is rhinolalia clausa? Here there is nasal obstruction. So as a result, the nasal resonance that should be given to the voice has been lost. So there will be toneless voice is seen in the children. And this toneless voice has no nasal component. There is toneless voice with no nasal component is seen in the children. What are the etiology? Obviously, it is seen in adenoids, and it is seen if there is bilateral nasal polyp, or if there is hypertrophied turbinates, you will see, or if there is nasal allergy, or if there is nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. In nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. So, rhinolalia clausa is seen in all the diseases which will obstruct the nasal cavity. Any disease which will obstruct the nasal cavity and thus cause loss of resonance of the nose, that will result in rhinolalia clausa. So, adenoid hypertrophy, bilateral nasal polyps, hypertrophic turbinates, nasal allergy, and nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. Here you will see rhinolalia clausa. Thank you.